Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Just thought I would pop in, talk to you about what's going on in the planets and the stars. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for February 24th through 26th, 2020. So we're feeling the tail end of Mars in this powerful square with Black Moon Lilith and now Chiron. And this is about Mars, our warrior, trying to power through the darkness, power through what needs to shift in order to finally move into new territory. But of course, we have Mercury retrograde. And Mercury is moving back through Pisces, apparently, to our view, which means it's crossing the sun in Pisces, like ships in the night. And the sun's moving forward, Mercury's moving back. It's pretty interesting because Mercury and the sun came together last in January, exactly at that time of that powerful lunar eclipse at the beginning of January. And they were right there next to Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. So their passing seems to be a very powerful marker for us. And they won't come back together. Mercury won't catch back up to the sun until the beginning of May. That's also the length of time that we'll be feeling the epic and powerful Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that we'll start feeling mid-March. But we're already clearly moving in to this energy. And we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces, kind of pulling back that slingshot kind of feeling, like, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you really ready? So, and it's interesting because the messages right now, once again, we have a very clear, powerful lining up of these planets, because Mars, just coming off that powerful square with Black Moon, Lilith, and Chiron, is in a sextile with the sun. And they've kind of been, over these last few days, this week, we've been feeling that energy, but now Mercury and the sun together. And so Mars in sextile with Mercury and the sun, and then Mercury and the sun are in sextile with Uranus in Taurus. So that's a powerful energy speaking to this new age and what we're trying to do here, and the new energies coming in. Now, Pisces, we've got all this energy in Pisces, Mercury retrograde, sun in Pisces, and Jupiter sextile, Jupiter and Capricorn sextile, Neptune in Pisces. And so that energy will be feeling all the way to mid-March when we start feeling the Mars, Pluto, Jupiter, and Jupiter, Pluto intensity. So, this is a really important time of preparation to be ready for this next epic chapter of the 2020 astrology. So all this Pisces energy and the full moon in Virgo that happens on March 9th, which is the day before Mercury turns direct, when that slingshot starts to shift, that will be, the sun will be right next to Neptune for that full moon. So we got a lot of this Pisces energy going on, and Pisces has a lot of energy around, it's like a dreaming and spiritual revelation, mystical experiences, but then it's also got this energy of delusions. And with Capricorn sextile, so, Mars is sextile Mercury in the sun, and Jupiter in Capricorn. So Mars in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn, sextile Neptune. We really have this Capricorn Neptune or Capricorn Pisces energy on the table. Now, so this is speaking to the delusions we're talking about, are the control energies and the lies that have kept us use our mystical experience energy to control us through the Piscean age. And we've got to have these things come to the surface. And so it's a really interesting time where I can feel this Pisces energy. It can bring up tons of emotions and grief and just like powerful emotions that haven't moved because it's so much water, and it's trying to move these deep, dark places. Of course, it's not very fun to look at and not very fun to experience, but really important for us to move. But the message here seems to be about the delusions and the lies, which these control energies, control structures, which the Capricorn energy is speaking to, interacting with the Pisces age. and keeping us in total lies and delusions. And so we have to examine these things. And so when you look at the world right now, it's really scary, like what's going on. There's just so much darkness. And if you're looking at the surface of what's being presented to us in the news and everything, it's like, whew, like how can I even survive on this planet that has all of this stuff going on as a sensitive soul, right? But we have to look at how these planets are lining up for us yet again. This all started back in November into the galactic center activation with Jupiter, Venus, coming off of that last Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. And with those eclipse season, the planets have been just lining up in this perfect sign after sign, sextile, semi-sextile energy, because Black Moon Lilith is right in between Uranus and the Sun and Mercury right now. And so that's another kind of just this like beautiful lining up of this star pattern that's being created, almost like these planets are visiting these places and kind of marking a new grid for us, marking a new paradigm, marking a new possibility. So it's really important to understand that this time of darkness that we feel in us, this dark stuff coming to the surface in our world, that is happening not just because the world is dark, but because the light is coming in and the dark has to come up to be cleansed. So when we look at the Pisces energy, you always want to watch out for escapism, delusions, and that's kind of this energy. Capricorn kind of represents more manifested reality, and then Neptune's like very confusing, kind of expansive energy, spiritual insights, but that can get very confused and we question them. And so the delusion right now, we're all having to face our own delusions, of course, but it's really important. It feels like the stars are saying us like the world and the darkness that we're seeing is not as it seems. We're actually bringing in massive amounts of light right now. And that's why we're seeing the darkness. Right. And so we are being asked to put our attention as sensitive souls, as aware souls, as awakening souls, to put our attention on that light that's coming in. Put your energy there. See through the delusions of the darkness that's being shown to us right now. Not that we want to avoid and ignore it, but energetically, it's just a really important time for us to own the truth of why we're here, why we've gone through everything we've gone through, because we know there's a better world that lies ahead, and we're here to help hold space for that transition. So be in that energy and be in, and there's actually a powerful, underneath the lies and delusions, a powerful mystical experiences available right now with this incredible lining up of planets. So much going on. And it's interesting that Mars square Black Moon Lilith and Chiron. Oh, the other thing that's happening is that Mars is, Mars in that square with Black Moon Lilith and Chiron was our first real square energy that we felt since that Saturn Pluto conjunction. It's kind of like we're recovering, trying to figure out, it's like what that meant and what we're doing and who we are and what's going on. And of course, it's about breaking down the structures of our world that don't serve us, the old paradigm. And we're coming up on the next square energy, which will start to feel here in the next couple of days, which will be Venus in Aries in square to Pluto and Capricorn. And so, of course, the goddess is coming back into the mix with messages, and we'll be talking about that as we move into that energy. And Mars has been on center stage and will be throughout all of March as we have that epic Mars, Jupiter, Pluto. So we're trying to balance all of this stuff within so we can resolve these lies and delusions and move into something new. But Mercury is coming up into, we're feeling now this trine with the North Node. And this happens 3 times during this Mercury retrograde. And this is, this is the third time, or the second time. And the third time will be right after that full moon, the Virgo full moon in March. So this is a really sweet energy saying we can do this. We've got to adjust, right? I mean, Mercury in Pisces is about immutable energy. It's about adjusting. It's about rearranging our mental and of course with Mercury and the Sun, it's about our identity and readjusting our mental belief systems and who we think we are and our whole conception of what this world is. I mean, it's massive rearranging that's happening right now. But it's interesting. So we have that very sweet energy of like, we can do this though. We can do this. There's support for moving forward into the new, and that North Node trine Mercury. But then Mars is coming up on the South Node, meaning an opposition with the North Node. And so Mars in Capricorn is like, again, that frustration about not being able to move forward. And yet we're being shown that we are moving forward. We just don't see it. There's just so much light, and it's got to, you've got to, we're in a healing crisis, right? I know we've been here for a long time. It's hard because it's like, oh my gosh, more shadow dark work to do. Are we ever going to like get anywhere? But we're into the nitty gritty now. Like it's really revealing itself. The thing is that it's been suppressed and hidden, and people don't want to look at it. And it's like, just keep it a nice, neat world, and we'll just pretend those things aren't happening, right? And they've got to come to the surface to be cleansed and cleared. And that's like in any true healing process, you're going to have, a little bit of a healing crisis. And this is kind of a big healing crisis, but it's important for us aware souls to put our attention on the light that's coming in, and of course we want to face the darkness, but, we're being called to recognize this beautiful geometry that's happening in our sky, representing a new grid that we're creating, and be present with that energy. And Mars opposite the South Node is like, come on, let's do this. Let's get somewhere. Let's take some action. And yet we can't really do that until after Mercury turns direct. But that is that energy of like, we want to use this time very effectively, be very present to prepare, because who knows what lies ahead as that slingshot starts to fly forward into the crazy and powerful and intense, but very much forward motion energy of March 2020. So I look forward to being here with you through these and powerful and amazing times that we live in. I look forward to seeing you soon on the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.